here for the show tonight to interview our special guest. Show highlight the Alford Sports Talk Show. The Alford Sports Talk Show. Football, basketball, baseball, hockey, soccer, boxing, tennis, golf, and racing. The Alford Sports Talk Show. The Alford Sports Talk Show. Tune in for all the news and scores, reporting on the games and so much more. The Alford Sports Talk Show. The Alford Sports Talk Show. The Alford Sports Talk.
Welcome everybody.
Show.
Welcome to another great episode of the Alford Sports Talk Show. So delighted to have you join us here today. So delighted to have the Blog Talk back. It has been a journey, folks, and I'm going to get into that a lot more. But we got the Blog Talk back. Feel free to give us a call in, 516-418-5572. Again, it's 516-418-5572. And definitely you can feel free to chat in right there on YouTube. And we're live on X. So we got the whole game working. It's going to be an awesome show. We're going to get the show started off in just a few moments. But first, we got to go ahead and thank one of our outstanding sponsors, Chef G's Florida Barbecue Sauce. So delicious and addicting, you may need a support group. Make sure you don't forget to visit Chef G's right there in beautiful Tampa, Florida at 301 South 22nd Street, Tampa, Florida. And if you can't come down to Tampa, it's okay. It's all right. Feel free to visit Chef G's right there at FLBBQSauce.com. Again, it's FLBBQSauce.com. Don't forget that great sauce. Got Fusion, Classic, Honey Mustard, and Heat Wave. Got them all. That's right. So all the music you're going to hear tonight is going to be brought to you by Sam Scola Songs. He's done a wonderful job of all the music you're going to hear on this broadcast. So without further ado, we're going to play a second song. The first intro song was Sam Scola Songs. Now you're going to hear another song. It's the Chef G's Florida Barbecue Sauce song. Right now, let's go.
Comes in four varieties. Chef G's Florida Barbecue Sauce, a natural flavor. Chef G's Florida Barbecue Sauce, Florida Gold Honey Mustard on burgers and ribs. Tasty fusion on pork and sausage. A classic taste for chicken steak tips. A hot heat wave on meatballs and ham. It's a cookout treat. Chef G's Florida Barbecue Sauce. Serve on fish and vegetables. Chef G's Florida Barbecue Sauce. Chef G's Florida Barbecue Sauce. Chef G's Florida Barbecue Sauce.
So delicious and addicting, you may need a support group. Make sure you don't forget to visit my great friend Chef G's right there at 301 South 22nd Street, Tampa, Florida. And if you can't come down to Tampa, definitely visit them at FLBBQSauce.com. Again, it's FLBBQSauce.com. Don't forget that great sauce. And without further ado, since we got the blog talk working, we're going to go ahead and bring on our first caller of the day. Let's go ahead and do that right now. Hey, how you doing? We got the blog talk working. We're going to go ahead and I know, right? Wow, man. It's been a journey. That blog talk is something. It's something. Blame it on the blog talk because it's been a journey. Now, last week, I would have to say the show was pre-recorded, and we did the StreamYard because I had went away for the weekend. But prior to that, it's been a journey with Blog Talk. It really has been. I'm glad you kept trying. How you been? I know it's but prior to that, it's been a journey with Blog Talk. It really has been. I'm glad you kept trying. How you been? Yeah, I'm glad you called in. I want to get your thoughts on overall how you thought the Yankees did in Game 5.
Game 5 of the Yankees versus the Dodgers, which was a total nightmare.
I'm glad you kept trying. How you been? Yeah, I'm glad you called in. I want to get your thoughts on overall how you thought the Yankees did in Game 5. Yeah, I agree. I don't even think I think it's even worse than choked. I think it was just they were just overmatched. Severely overmatched. They did not bring any to me it wasn't real. There was a couple of moments, I'll give you that. But I would say overall it wasn't really competitive. The Dodgers clearly had the better team, and not only did they have the better team, Lou, they played much better than. But I would say overall, it wasn't really competitive. The Dodgers clearly had the better team, and not only did they have the better team, Lou, they played much better.
Well,
than.
but game 1 they had a chance, but they blew it in the ninth inning, and then they were able to take advantage of that. Game 2, I thought it was. Game 3, you thought it was going to be kind of close, but the Yankees turned to a rout. So, Game 4, rather. So they didn't have their moments. In Game 5, they had back-to-back.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think Game 1, they gave away the game. They had to win that game. You had your ace going. You had to win that game. And to me, that was the reason why I felt the Yankees had an advantage, because they ended the series prior to it right on schedule in five games, which meant that Garrett Cole was going to be available for Game 1, and I felt like they had to win Game 1. Regardless of what happened in Game 2, if you come to New York down 1-1, you did an outstanding job. You can't expect you to win 2 games away. You just want to split. They lost Game 1, and I thought that was the way they lost Game 1. I felt set the tone. And to bring in Nestor Cortez in a game, he hasn't played in 37 days, and for you to bring him in a World Series game, bases loaded against the top hitters in the other team, you're talking about bringing him in a tough spot. And he's not a closer. I thought that was a tall task. I didn't think Aaron Boone did a good job managing the series at all. I thought he actually did a poor job managing the series. I really did. And I thought that was a tall task. I didn't think Aaron Boone did a good job managing the series at all. Yeah, George Steinbrenner wouldn't have put up with this. And not only that, I'm glad you brought that up. Guess what? Today it's official. He got an extension, so he's gonna be there next year. Aaron Boone did a good job managing the series at all. Yeah, George Steinbrenner wouldn't have put up with this. And not only that, I'm glad you brought that up. Yeah, Hal is not George, and may he rest in peace, George Steinbrenner. He's gonna be there next year. That sometimes happens. You have dads, you have kids, and the kids are not nowhere near the way their dad was, and as poorly as Aaron Boone manages this series, any owner would have probably parted ways at this point. Their dad was, and as poorly as Aaron Boone manages this series, any owner would have probably parted ways. Yeah, he. That's where I would say the Yankees lost. They got over. They were mismanaged, meaning Roberts did a much better job managing the team. They were outpitched, out-defended, out-hit severely. They just didn't bring any aspect to the game that I couldn't run the bases well either. Yankees did not. They did not play a good series. And that's one thing about the playoffs, folks, is that it emphasizes and it enhances your faults. And it showed really poorly how poor the Yankees defense was, and their running their bases was atrocious. Do you feel as if this was the biggest Yankees collapse in postseason play?
The Yankees defense was, and their running their bases was atrocious. Do you feel as if this?
Yeah, it's hard to top the Red Sox losing 4 straight. I agree with you on that. That's number one.
No, I would think 2001 would be the biggest in postseason play.
Wait, you talking about Luis Gonzalez?
Hard to top the Red Sox losing 4 straight. I agree with you on that. That's number one.
Yeah, that was. You know what? That was, I would say, the number one heartbreaking loss. And also when they lost to the Diamondbacks was heartbreaking too. I would say.
I agree with you on that. That's number one. Yeah, that was. You know what? That was, I would say, the number one heartbreaking loss.
Yeah, them losing that one, I wouldn't consider a choke job. I would just say that was just unfortunate because they played really well that series, and you got to give Luis Gonzalez a credit. You know, he hit a little number with a broken bat, and he got it over the infield. You know, it wasn't meant to be for the Yankees.
That series, and you got to give Luis.
I would say those two, the Diamondbacks and the that was the heartbreaking one. Those two were the heartbreaking one. But I would say this one, the Yankees collapse in the postseason against the Red Sox is number one. This was, I would say, number 2. And the third place, I would say, was when they played against the Marlins, where Josh Beckett just completely overpowered them. They were not that good in that series either when Josh Beckett was on the mound. They got soundly beat by the Marlins too, but I would say this was number 2. I would say the Red Sox collapse was number 1. This was number 2, and the Josh Beckett was a close third.
They got soundly beat by the Marlins too, but I would say this was number 2. I would say the Red Sox collapse was number 1. This was number 2, and the Josh Beckett was a close third.
Yeah, that was unfortunate. That's. I was shocked too when they lost, and that was the year that it would have been nicer for them to win because of 9/11. I would have been like, you know what? That would have been really nice to have a parade to get people's mind off everything. But I can't hate on Luis Gonzalez. I can't hate on him, and I can't really hate on Mariano Rivera because he pitched he pitched really well. He's been lights out up until that point. I'm talking about up until that point, not including the Red Sox. But up until that point, he's been lights out, and it showed you how difficult it is to hold a 1-run lead, no matter who you are.
Up until that point, I'm talking about up until that point, not including.
And I looked at that as like that's the tough breaks for the Yankees, and that's how baseball is, man. It's a game of inches. That little nubbler would have stayed up a little bit longer. Somebody catches it, and the game's over, and the Yankees celebrate. Instead, it's the other way around.
Breaks for the Yankees, and that's how baseball is, man. It's a game of inches.
Yeah.
That little nubbler would have stayed up a little bit longer. Somebody catches it, and the game's over, and the Yankees celebrate. Instead, it's the other way around. That's how baseball is, man. It's a game of inches.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't feel nowhere near the Yankees were embarrassing, in those series like they were in this one. This one was embarrassing for the Yankees. It really was. It was, to me, I felt like it was embarrassing. Like, yes, the Dodgers had a better team than you, but I would felt like your competitive spirit and just your mindset was just not. It was just not there. If you want to win baseball games in the postseason, let me help you out, folks. This is what you need to do. I'm going to give the credit for this to David Justice.
mindset.
He said this years ago, and it's stuck in my head to this day. If you want to win playoff games, you have to have these three things, like a triangle. You have to have pitching, defense, and timely hitting. Pitching, defense, and timely hitting.
He said this years ago, and it's stuck in my head to this day.
The Yankees were, expanding the zone. What did you think about Aaron Judge? Your thoughts on Aaron Judge for this series in the postseason?
Defense and timely hitting. He said this years ago, and it's stuck in my head to this day. The Yankees were, expanding the zone. What did you think about
58.
Aaron Judge? Your thoughts on Aaron Judge for this series in the postseason?
Yeah, he was, and he was expanding the zone. He was pressing. The biggest thing that shocked me that how he was trying to play hero ball, expanding the zone. He wasn't swinging at very good quality pitches that you really had a good shot of hitting. For the most part of the series, he was to me like an automatic out. He really was. He was taking such poor swings, had a poor approach that to me, until the later end of the series, which I'm going to talk about to give him some credit, he was almost an automatic out. Now, I could tell that he started to dial it back and started to dial in towards the end of the series. The last two games, you could tell he was starting to get his niche back. For one thing that changed that I could tell was different was he was a lot more selective at the plate. He was doing like he normally does. He takes his time, finds the right pitch, and attacks it. He was a lot more selective at the plate. Then he gets the home run. So I felt as if this game did go back to LA, the Yankees were going to be in a great spot. You understand? If you let's say you did get back to the LA, the pressure definitely would have shifted to the Dodgers, number one. And number two, I felt as if now Aaron Judge was going to start to come along. Like all those offers were going to start to turn into some hits and some big-time play. And I felt as if the Yankees did get it back to L.A., they were going to be in very good shape for Game 6. And then Game 7 is winner take all. But they blew 5 runs in the 5th inning. I mean, they blew 5 runs with your number one pitcher on the mound. And what about that play on first?
But they blew 5 runs.
That's Garrett Cole, man. You got to cover face. And that's another thing I would tell people, too. If you want to win playoff games, don't assume anything. Don't assume anything. Don't assume anything.
That's Garrett Cole, man. You got to
cover the base. Don't assume.
I would tell people, too, if you want to win playoff games, don't.
That was another thing I'll give the Dodgers credit for. You could tell they had more postseason experience than the Yankees. They were actually swinging at strikes. They were a lot more disciplined at the plate. Even when they made outs, like as far as the batter not getting a hit or anything, they still made a lot of quality at bats. They made the pitcher usually work for their outs.
They were a lot more disciplined at the plate. Even
yeah.
when they made outs, like as far as the batter.
But one person who always gives a quality at bat, quality content, quality show, quality person. And that's Lou from the Enhanced Sports Show.
Yeah.
Tell us about what you got cooking on Saturday.
But one person who always gives a quality at bat, quality content, quality show, quality person. And that's Lou from the Enhanced Sports Show. Tell us about what you got cooking on Saturday.
All right, we'll go over Major League Baseball's free agency period.
Quality show, quality person. And that's Lou from the Enhanced Sports Show. Tell us about what you got cooking on Saturday.
We'll also take thoughts on Major League Baseball's playoff ratings, NFL 9 reviews, college football, and NFL
Sports Show. Tell us about what you got cooking on Saturday.
That's right, folks. Make sure you tune in tomorrow, Saturday, Eastern Standard Time Zone. Make sure you tune in and watch the Enhanced Sports Show. That is going to be from 4 to 6. Type in Enhanced Sports Show on YouTube and give Lou a call, too. Give him a call at 543-4662. Again, that's 512-543-4662. Tomorrow, 4 to 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time Zone. Speak to Lou. You're gonna have a great time. I'm gonna be calling in too. So make sure you do too. I'm glad to hear back from you. I'm sorry about the blog talk. I apologize about that, but I'm glad you kept checking in. You are the man.
You're gonna have a great time. I'm gonna be calling in too.
You're welcome. Always a pleasure. Always a pleasure, Lou. You the man.
I'm glad to
Miss you.
From you. I'm sorry about the blog talk. I apologize about that, but I'm glad.
Take care now.
Checking in. You are the
Talk to you
man.
later. Talk to you tomorrow, in fact.
You're welcome. Always a pleasure.
Bye-bye now.
Always a pleasure.
Take care.
Lou. You the man. Miss you.
Always a pleasure. Lou from the Enhanced Sports Show.
Take care.
That guy's dedicated, man, you know.
Talk to you tomorrow.
So, yeah, last week to bring you guys speed was a pre-recorded show for StreamYard. It was the first time I actually did a pre-recorded show, and it worked out really well. The only thing about that is that it does not allow me to go back and forth, you know, with the chat, and also we had the blog talk unavailable for you to call in last week. That worked awesome. So at least that now, since it did work so great, now I know in the future going forward, if there is going to be an issue with me doing the live show, I have an option now to pre-record the show and post it up for you guys. You really didn't miss anything because I had thought about, you know, the Yankees and things that was going to happen, and it went really well. So props to StreamYard for, you know, what they do, and definitely, you know, it's an option in the future. So that is wonderful. Always a pleasure. So, you know, one thing that you guys need to do is take advantage of, hey, if you need a home in Florida, if you need a home in Texas, guess what? CTC ME Mortgage can help you. That's right. CTC ME Mortgage can help you with a home, whether it be Texas, whether it be Florida. This man right here, Kurt McCray, can help you. That's right. Give Kurt McCray a call. Man can help you with a mortgage, refinancing, equity in your home. Thank you, CTC ME Mortgage, for being an outstanding sponsor. So give Kurt McCray a call, 346-527-7564. Again, that's 346-527-7564. Man's doing big things, selling homes. There you go. This is very recent. So I'm going to go ahead and play another great Sam Scola songs, and that's the CTC ME Mortgage song. We're going to go ahead and give credit to our sponsors here and a lot more. Let me go ahead and do that in right now, the CTC ME Mortgage song.
CTCME Mortgage Company, they stand by their loyalty. CTCME Mortgage Company, you can trust their honesty. Make the call today. There's no extra fees to pay. You can take a loan to own a new home. CTCME Mortgage Company, they stand by their loyalty. CTCME Mortgage Company, you can trust their honesty. Get a low interest rate, there's no need to wait. Finance a payment plan. Kurt McCray is your man. CTCME Mortgage Company. CTCME Mortgage Company. CTCME Mortgage Company.
CTCME Mortgage Company. That's right. Give Kurt McCray a call here in Florida, Texas. He can help you. That number again is 346 527 7564. Again, it's 346 527 7564. Or you can go ahead and feel free to visit ctcmemortgage.com. ctcmemortgage.com. Give Kurt McCray a call and get that new home. So without further ado, we're going to go ahead and keep the good times rolling and bring on another caller here on the Alford Sports Talk Show. Let's go. Let me go ahead and bring him on right now, folks. Hey, how you doing?
We're going to go ahead and keep the good times.
Doing wonderful. Thank you for asking. Long time no see. How you been?
Let's go.
That's great to hear.
Right now, folks.
I know it.
Hey, how you doing? Doing wonderful.
Yeah, last week I was out of town, so I pre-recorded the show. I did that for the first time. But prior to that, it was Blog Talk. It was issues leading up to it. And I'm glad you're back.
Yeah,
you know, that's the thing with.
Out of town, so I pre-recorded the show. I did that for the first time.
Yeah, you know, that's the thing about Blog Talk is that sometimes it's one of those things you love it when it works good.
Glad you're back.
You love it when it works good, but it has its bumps in the road. But I will tell you this much. That's even more of a reason for me to stick with Blog Talk, even if it's not perfect, because of you, Lou, and all the great callers can call in and talk. You know, that's one thing about Blog Talk. You can call and talk, whereas the other shows in a lot of formats, you need to have the link in advance to go ahead and chime in the show. And it's usually, you know, you can't do it over the phone. It's usually a situation where it's more like a podcast. You're speaking to someone who's going to be on the show like that. But Blog Talk, we're going to ride or die. Yep, and definitely I'm glad to. That's right, ride or die. I'm glad that you're to hear from you, man. That's so cool. But yeah, how you been otherwise? Doing great. Thanks for asking. And how you think your Bills are doing?
To hear from you, man. That's so cool.
Yeah, they started out with the blaze of fire, and then all of a sudden they ran into a little, kind of like I would say, a cold spell, and now they're trying to get back on track. Yeah, the Bills got a great team, and it's great that the DeMar Hamlin is back, and you know they're doing really good. Just think they just need a. The Bucs are doing all right. They're kind of like up and down, up and down. You know, I feel as if this last week, they should have actually beat the Chiefs. That they put themselves in a very good position to win the game, and it shows you why the Chiefs are the Chiefs, is that the Bucs did not close the game out well. Yeah, I mean, the Chiefs are very good, but one thing they don't do, the Chiefs, they know how to close out games very, very good, number one. And number two, they don't make mistakes to really hurt themselves. That's the thing. The Bucs made a lot of kind of mistakes, which I'm going to get into later in the show, that hurt them in this game from them winning. You could tell the difference between a team that's used to winning and a team that does everything they can to try to get a win, but just don't know exactly what steps to take to win the game.
Which I'm gonna get into later in the show, that hurt them.
But they'll get back on track
from them winning. You could tell the difference between teams that's used to
but
winning.
Yeah, I'm glad to hear from you, and you're gonna be on the call tomorrow, right?
Steps to take to win the game.
Oh yes, indeed, absolutely. I'm gonna get back on track too with you guys, and I'm so glad to hear from you.
So glad to hear from you, and you're gonna be on the call tomorrow, right?
I'm looking forward to hearing from you again tomorrow too.
Oh yes, indeed, absolutely. I'm gonna get back on track too with you guys, and I'm so glad to hear from you.
Oh yeah, I'm excited about it. Always a pleasure. I'm glad you didn't give up on me. You kept calling in. You kept trying.
Oh yes, indeed.
Yeah, so I'm on the mute tomorrow.
That's awesome.
Oh yeah, I'm excited about it.
That's awesome.
Yep.
Yep. We appreciate your support tremendously. That's for sure.
Yep.
You're outstanding. Really appreciate you. Yeah, it was always a pleasure. So definitely, thank you for giving us a call in tonight. right, I'll talk to you tomorrow.
Outstanding. Really appreciate you.
All right, take care.
Yeah, it was always
Great
a
night.
pleasure. Definitely.
Thank you so much for calling.
Thank you for giving us a call
Bye-bye
in
now.
tonight.
You're
Take care.
welcome.
All right, I'll talk to you tomorrow.
That's awesome. Really
Yeah.
appreciate
All right.
Diane give us a call, man. That is so awesome. You know, that's fantastic. And that's the beauty about the Allen Alford Sports Talk show is that I have wonderful
And I'll talk to you tomorrow.
fans, wonderful sponsors, wonderful people that enjoy the show, and it makes it really worthwhile. And that's the thing. Having a show is not, it's not easy for those who don't know. It sees me smiling all the time, but it's just not easy. But it's a great journey, and I'm glad to be a part of it with you guys. I really am. Appreciate you guys. I mean, even stuff like the blog talk, it's like a seesaw. It works sometimes, it doesn't work, but you just got to keep going forward. You just got to keep going forward.
But it's a great journey, and I'm glad to be a part of it with you guys. I really am.
That's
That's
the thing.
Like a seesaw, it works
With the
sometimes, it
Bucks.
doesn't work,
The Bucks were actually in very, very good shape to ironically beat the best team in the NFL and the undefeated team in the NFL, and that is the Chiefs. Yes, I do think the Chiefs are the best team in the league. I think overall they're well coached. They have Patrick Mahomes. Travis Kelce starting to get back in the groove. He kind of started really slow. I mean, I had him as my fantasy player until I let him go late. But it wasn't until like week 6 or 7. He was just hurting me so much that I was like, you know what? I need to go ahead and move on and get some other guys because I needed, buys started coming in. And yeah, I had to unload him, and that's when he started doing good. But yeah, overall, the Chiefs are still the team to beat, and the Bucks had a chance to win. This is the difference between teams that are used to winning and teams that are trying to piece it together to win. Where the Bucks made a mistake, number one, is you had time to go ahead and get that score. You did not have to call that timeout with about 28, 29 seconds left. You did not. Get up to the line, spike the ball, save your timeout. You called a timeout that was unnecessary, then you scored on the next play, but you still gave Patrick Mahomes some time to go ahead and close out the game again on a field goal. Fortunately for the Bucks, it didn't happen that way, but that shows you, you're playing to kind of like lose. And I felt as if the Bucks should have went for 2 at that point. Odds are showing. That's another thing you need to do. You need to do your research before the game and really kind of get a game plan of what you're going to do when you get into certain situations. The Bucks should have already said to themselves, you know what? If we get in overtime or get to the point of scoring to go to overtime, we're going to go for 2 and try to close this game out. Because history has shown that when you go to overtime with the Chiefs and the Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes, you don't end up with a win. So you might as well just go for it right there before the end of regulation and see what happens. Because you were facing Patrick Mahomes, who now has added another piece in Hopkins, and you had a chance to win the game, kind of like steal a win at the end of the fourth quarter. You should have just went ahead, number one, save that timeout, call it later. But yeah, you should have went for 2. And I had a feeling, as much as I like Todd Bowles, he's too conservative. And he should have went for that 2-point conversion and don't play to just go bring it to overtime. And I had a feeling is what he said post game. Again, history has shown if you go to overtime with Patrick Mahomes, you don't usually end up winning. So you might as well just go for it right then and there and win, lose, or draw. I mean, to me, I'd be like, you know what? We had made a decision that we were going to try to win this game with a 2-point conversion. We were not going to go to overtime with Patrick Mahomes because we don't feel as if that was going to put us in a good, favorable position to win a game. History has shown Patrick Mahomes in the fourth quarter in overtime does what he needs to do to close out games. So why would I be another you know,
in a good
victim of the norm.
Shown,
Might as well just go for two. And they didn't go for two. They were, I felt, too
Dudley
conservative. They kicked the field goal. You went to overtime. You lost the flip. Chadwick Holmes goes down there and scores the game. Game over. So you might as well, even if you won the flip, I don't think you get all the way down there and score on the Chiefs on the first drive. I'm just being real. I just don't see it happening.
Game over.
So that being said, Mahomes is going to get his opportunity. He's going to go down there and march down the field and does what he does. That's why the guy's getting paid over $300 million. He's special. I felt as if that was a game that actually the Bucs should have won, and they didn't win, and they let an opportunity slip. They made some kind of like some bonehead plays, but that's what you need to do to win. You need to know what you're going to do prior to. And props to Saquon Barkley, too. Saquon Barkley with the move of the week. He gets the ball in the flap, goes ahead and makes two people miss their tackle. Then the third guy comes in, and he does a hurdle backwards, and he actually cleared the guy. I mean, before he then was brought down, but Saquon Barkley is something else. Props is really cool to see what he's doing, researching his career now with the trade. It's awesome. So we're going to go ahead and discuss a bit later the picks of this week for the NFL. Before we do that, one thing you need to do if you're going to go ahead and check out and travel, guess what? Pushpin Adventures can help you. Thank you so much, Pushpin Adventures, for being one of our outstanding sponsors here. That's right. Pushpin Adventures can help you with if you need international travel, domestic travel, cruises. There's an awesome cruise I'm going to show you a picture of that's closing out real soon with Virgin Voyages. If you need group destination weddings, if you need also corporate events, you need that, your sales team or team traveling arrangements, Pushpin Adventures can help you, and a lot more. That's right. So go ahead and give Monique a call at 626-838-1006, 626-838-1006. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and play none other than the Pushpin Adventure song by Sam School of Songs. Let's go.
Escaping today with Pushpin
Pushpin Adventures. That's right. Make sure you make that dream a reality. Visit pushpinadventures.com/virgin or give Monique a call. Call or text 626-838-1006. 626-838-1006. She's getting ready for this cruise that I was going to show you here, which is coming up. She's sold out or getting close to selling out, I should say, this cruise right here. So if you're interested in going, no kids, no cook, no Thanksgiving, she's getting the t-shirts ready for the people on that cruise. Maybe it could be you. 626-838-1006. 626-838-1006. Thank you so much, Pushpin Adventures, for being another one of our outstanding sponsors here on the Allen Alford Sports Talk Show. Really appreciate you. That's awesome. Again, the number 626-838-1006. So that's awesome. Yeah, so I'm going to go ahead now and share with you guys my picks for the week. Let me go ahead and go over that with you. And I already noticed I got one right already because I did pick, as I said on the show last week, the Ravens to beat Cincinnati, and they sure enough did. So let me actually pull up my predictions, and I'm going to explain to you why, because let me just see something here. Let me just see something here. You know what? I was close on the score, but no cigar. I had it, the final score, 31 Ravens, 27 Bengals. The actual score ended up being 35 Ravens, 34 Bengals. So I didn't get the exact number right, but I did get the pick right, and that's the Ravens. So let me go over the rest of them, and let me pull those up here. So, yeah, it's going to be a great weekend of football for sure. Let me go over those rest of those picks. So, yes, I did get that one right. Bengals versus the Ravens. The Ravens did win. We have the Patriots against the Bears. Patriots against the Bears. I got the Bears winning. We have the Broncos and Chiefs. Should be a good game, but I do have the Chiefs winning. Steelers against Commanders. I actually went with the Steelers in this game. And let me take a look here. Falcons versus Saints. I got the Falcons winning. Jets versus the Cardinals. And I have, unfortunately, Lou is not online now, but I will say it. I actually have the Cardinals winning. Lions versus Texans. So let me see what I picked for that. I didn't have. I got the Lions win on that one. I'm sorry, I couldn't find it. It's right there, the Lions. Giants and the Packers. I'm sorry, the Giants and the Panthers. I have the Panthers winning. 49ers and the Bucks. I actually do have the 49ers winning this one over the Bucks. Sorry, but not sorry. Got to go with who I think is going to win the game. Vikings and Jaguars. Vikings. You have the Titans and the Chargers. I have the Chargers. Eagles versus the Cowboys. I got the Eagles. And last but not least, the Dolphins against the Rams. So, yep, I have. Let me just double check it. Dolphins and Rams. I'm going to go with that's a tough pick. I'm going to go with the Rams. Rams going to win this one. So those are the picks for this week. So we're going to go ahead and talk a little bit about UFL news. So there's going to be a showcase coming up real soon. Let me give you those details here. Okay. And yep. So check out for that interview. And we're going to take a little quick break here on the Allen Alford Sports Talk show. So let me go ahead and do that for you guys. You guys are awesome. So we're going to take a little break and I'll be right back here. Appreciate you guys. Let me go ahead. Another great Sam Scola song.
It's the end of the show. Let's thank all the fans before we go. It's the end of the show. The Allen Allen Sports Talk Radio Show. Thanking our special guest. Thanking our sponsor. It's the end of the show. Tune in again for next week's show. It's the end of the show. Thanking our host before we go. It's the end of the show. It's the end of the show.
All right. All right. We're back. We're back. We're back. We're back. That's right. We don't give up here on the Allen Alford Sports Talk show. So, yes, that was another Sam Scola song. So, let's talk a bit about Sam Scola songs. So, guy's awesome. He's our songwriter, musician. And let me go ahead and talk about Sam Scola songs. That's his poster right there. Really cool. And that's the man, the myth, legend. Great thing about Sam Scola songs, not only is he an outstanding songwriter, he writes hundreds and hundreds of songs, but you can go ahead and rest assured you can hear all his songs are available on YouTube and Spotify. So check that out there. Definitely, this man has done some outstanding songs. We really appreciate him. And in fact, if you want to reach out, this, folks, is for a deal, not some other bull junk. So make sure you give him a deal. Sing along with Sam at gmail.com. Sing along with Sam at gmail.com. That is the man. I appreciate him. Appreciate his wife, Mary. They do outstanding work. Really appreciate all those songs by Sam Scola songs there. That's right. That is absolutely right. Thank you, Sam Scola songs. So, yes, all the music here is by Sam Scola songs. And what we're going to do is talk a little bit about boxing on the top rank undercard. I got Keyshawn Davis winning, and I got my man Coolwell winning 2. So let me go ahead and bring that up here. All right. All right. So yes. It's going to be a great weekend of boxing. Make sure you guys check it out. In fact, the undercards are on now, so that's good. I got Keyshawn Davis, Dana Coolwell winning from Australia. That's right. Those are my predictions there. And I did want to let you guys know something. This is important. Now that the presidential race is over, now let me go ahead and bring you back to reality. I said it before to people in my section, but I'm going to say it to you now, is definitely, be careful trying to work with somebody dating, because it can lead to some difficulties there. So just observation on that. And another thing is this, speaking of political climate, is do like Tony Dungy said. Tony Dungy said, don't get into political talks or anything like that. But yes, you don't want to alienate half your audience by talking politics. You could really think there's no way somebody else consider the other side. Well, no, not only have they considered the other side, they've already thought about it in most cases. So yes, that is true. If you are a guest or participant on Island Alford Sports Talk Show, the Island Alford Sports Talk Show website can help you there. Great thing about the website is that it represents our show really well, and you can go ahead and check out any of those prior episodes. So yes, so I'm going to go ahead and thank our wonderful sponsor once again. Thank you so much, Chef G's Florida Barbecue Sauce. So delicious and addicting. You may need support group. Make sure you check it out there. FLBBQSauce.com. Again, it's FLBBQSauce.com. Or you can visit at 301 South 22nd Street, Tampa, Florida. Again, it's 301 South 22nd Street, Tampa, Florida. Check it out at FLBBQSauce.com. FLBBQSauce.com. And since we are having a little bit of technical difficulties, we're going to go ahead and wrap up the show here. Definitely thank you guys for all your support. So without further ado, I'm going to play another Sam Scola songs. The end of the show song. Really appreciate you guys.
It's the end of the show. Let's thank all the fans.
And have a great night, great weekend. You guys are awesome. I will see you again. Thank you so much for all that you do. Thank you so much for joining us here on Allen Alford Sports Talk Show. Let's go.